Jeremy, thanks for taking the time to sit down in your car on the road and have a little chat about who you are and your training adventures. So, for those of you that don't know you, which I think would be most people, can you give us a little bit of info about your background and maybe your training background and just who you are?
Sure. Yeah, so I definitely would say that I've been a pretty active person my entire life. Uh, when I was growing up, I lived out in the country on like 70 acres of woods and fields, and I was always riding my bike or running around the woods. I never really played any specific sports, but I really enjoyed long distance running. So those country roads, they just kind of go straight forever. So I would just
Hmm.
just run on those. Um, I joined the Marines, and so that was very, very intensive and very active. And that kind of really set the bar for my physicality at that time. And when I went to college, I just I had this, you know, urge to push myself to run, and I did a lot of bodyweight activity back then. And so after that, after college and stuff like that, I pretty much just stuck to running and
Hmm.
didn't really lift any serious weight until actually relatively recently, a couple of years ago. I decided to go into the gym, and I was following a program, and I did it for about 4 or 5 months, just very consistent, heavy weightlifting, put on some muscle, and then that was during a winter period. That summer, I did tree work, and then I moved, and my wife had a baby, and so
Exciting.
at that period, all working out just kind of stopped for whatever reason. There was another winter, and it was just there's a lot going on during that time.
I bet.
So, um, basically about 3 months ago, I was like, okay, I've obviously put on some weight, and I need to get moving again. And so you and me, had worked previously when I was in Berkeley, California.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I was going to a Krav Maga gym, and the guy there had some weights and stuff in the back, and so that's where I was working out with you,
Hmm.
and I really, yeah, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. So uh, we I don't know. I guess we kind of found each other again through this mutual group that we're a part of,
Yeah.
and because I just wanted to, I already knew you, and I wanted to, help a guy out, or give you business. I hit you back up, and you wrote me a program for basically about 3 months, and it really worked out for me.
Awesome. And it's really funny too, just because we live in different countries. You're over in the US and I'm in Australia. And
Yeah,
the fact that we just happen to be circling in the same circles and cross paths again. Because when we work together, you know, for those of you that don't know how far back my online coaching goes, like this is God, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. And
yeah,
like programs were sent via email on text documents and you like
yeah,
print them out and occasionally you
yeah,
check in via email with a couple of videos. Like this is going way back before systems became so much better through actually working through an app and being in your pocket all the time. In my opinion,
yeah,
it became a lot easier as a coach.
yeah. And your app is awesome. It's really easy to navigate. Um, Everything's very clear. It's definitely a very good tool.
Yeah. And from a coaching point of view, it does make life easier to keep in contact and stay on top of things and make tweaks when we need to. Okay, cool. So that gives us an idea of where you came from and your training history. So, that was life prior to working together. How has life changed for you after we started working together? What was different?
So your after telling you basically what my goals were, um, your program kind of helped me reset like a baseline level of strength and expectation of what I should be doing. So you're not currently coaching me, but a lot of what I'm doing now is based right off of what we were doing, and it's kind of like the way that every week there's a certain intensity that I should be hitting, and that gradual buildup of intensity work to give me more reps, a better rep range on the exercises, especially like pull-ups.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, there were chin-ups.
Yep.
When I started doing the chin-ups, it was like 5, and now I am consistently doing 11 to 12 in
Great.
sets. So that was awesome, and
Yeah, that's a great
yeah,
improvement. And
yeah.
I think you mentioned as well that, your push-ups improved a lot too. And those seem to be very important
Oh,
movements for you.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, yeah, so we had like a push-up challenge that I integrated into the end of the workout, and now I am consistently doing. For a while there, I was doing like 100 a day, but I just got really tight, incredibly tight.
Yep.
So now I'm doing about 50 a day, which is just a little bit better for me. But yeah, all the push-ups I did with your program uh, definitely helped me increase that range.
Yeah. And that's great to see. Like those are movements that a lot of people find really challenging and also really like to see improvement in chin-ups, pull-ups, push-ups. It's nice to see those improvements over essentially, 3 months. Cool. And so what then
No.
has your favorite part of the process been?
Really, I mean, it's been like the visual transfer
Nice.
popped, and my biceps and my chest. But more importantly, functionally, my back got a lot stronger,
Yeah.
and noticeably more defined. But but that's kind of secondary to the overall strength gains
Mhm.
that I was able to get with your program, which is what I was really after.
But it doesn't hurt to get jacked in the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, so you've got a pretty diverse background, coming from the military and martial arts and long distance running, and then getting into calisthenics type stuff. So what we did was probably a little bit different than what you'd done in the past, as well as, you had limited equipment. We had some bands and some rings and body weight stuff, which is great. I'm happy to work with people in their homes and in their garages because that's how I train as well. And
Yeah,
all the coaches at Strong for Life online coaching are helping people in similar situations. So my question then is, if you met another person who's in the same boat as you, someone who is maybe has a similar background or similar challenges, how what advice would you give them to help them figure out how to improve? How would you direct them on where to find instruction or how to get answers to their questions and get the results they want?
yeah. So if it's someone with a bit of background, not necessarily starting off fresh, I would definitely hammer home that you really do not need a ton of equipment So for me, I had TRX bands, I had rings, and I had a 2x4 in my garage that I did chin ups off of. I've got 25, 35 pound kettlebell and some small dumbbells and a mace.
Yeah.
With just that, I was able to uh, get these increases in strength, get this definition.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically working with you, it was great to work with you because I know you a little bit. But it, it doesn't take much. You don't need a lot of stuff. You just need to be consistent.
100%.
And what I really liked about the app was that every day I opened my phone, there was the workout, and I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to do any math. It was all right there for me.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. But like I said, you just have to do it. And our workouts were designed, to be short,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much as short as possible because of my schedule at the time. And so that really helped out a lot.
Yeah, nice. And I think what you said is really, really important because a lot of people think they need to have a lot of fancy equipment or they need to have a gym membership. And you don't. Like, I like gyms. There's a lot of great resources, but all you need is some basics and consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the consistency part is huge. You got to show up, you got to do the work. But
Yeah.
like you said, you really don't need a lot of equipment.
Exactly. All right. I've only got one more question for you.
Sure.
So, in your health and fitness journey, what words of wisdom would you like to share to someone who is just starting out?
Yeah. You can do it. You can absolutely do it. And that 3 months like just flew by and shit. Sorry, traffic is a little weird around here. That 3 months absolutely flew by. And I'm trying to think here. Coach Josh will work with you. He's there for you. And if something needs to be adjusted, he can absolutely do that. But there's absolutely no reason not to have some sort of physical training in your life. It'll make you feel better. It'll make you look better. And just you do it long enough, the sense of accomplishment really does a lot of good for your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really important lesson. And unfortunately, it's not one that you can learn until you've gotten there. You got to do the work to get the accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take those first few steps. It'll take you a long way.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Jeremy, thank you very much for taking the time while you're out running errands with your family. I appreciate it. And
time's a charm.
Yeah, that's it. Again, thank you very much for taking the time, and we'll chat soon.
All right, sounds good, man.